Hey guys, it's Nick with Snake Staff Systems, and this is everything I carry on a daily basis.
That's perfect.
So top down, we'll start with my watch. I personally use a Garmin 2X Solar after switching from a Garmin 1X. I used that for about a year and a half before I swapped to this device. This one is kind of leaps and bounds above what the Garmin 1 can do, or the Instinct one, including the solar panel, the built-in light, with the tack light, that whole sort of thing, with the up to 60-day battery life. For my everyday carry weapon, I carry a Glock 19 Gen 5 Chamber 9. I carry a 15-round mag of Federal HSTs. And to carry that Glock 19, I use the T-Rex Arms Ironside Hybrid holster. Arguably the most comfortable holster on the market right now. I've been carrying this for roughly 3 months, and I don't think I'm gonna go to anything else. On the rest of my tools, EDC stuff, I carry a CRKT Shenanigans knife. I've carried this for roughly 2 years. Sharpens well, it cuts clean, and it's a really comfortable carry. On my everyday carry multi-tool, I carry a Leatherman Signal. This one's about 2 years old. This is my third one of this iteration. This kind of has every bit and bob you need when you don't really want to grab something big. On the medical side of things, I carry a Snake Staff Systems wide ETQ. I've carried this one for about 6 to 8 months compared to the Cat that I used to carry. This one just fits better in my pocket. It's a cleaner look, and you don't get any presence of it in your pocket anytime. This is the one I will die on the hill for. So on the other side of the medical, I carry the Schlissman pressure wrap in a snakeskin, and I also carry hemostatic gauze in here. This is kind of the jack of all multi-tool sort of thing for bleeding control, pressure wrap, that sort of thing. This is a new everyday carry for me, so I've been carrying this for about a week. This is my everyday carry wallet. It's kind of one of those off-brand riches that my mom gave me recently, actually. That same slim profile, I carry like 6 cards in here, everything I need on a daily basis, nothing super crazy. So I carry my Schneider glide pen, my slider pen. I carry this every single day. I never leave the house without it. My trusty old Burt's Bees chapstick. Ever since I was 8, I've been carrying one of these in my pockets, and I'll never leave without it. And then the best for almost last, my 3 milligram Why can't I get that word right, dude? Wintergreen 3 milligram Zin on a daily basis. This is my vice of choice. And then the last thing to top it all off, I carry my iPhone. So we'll start head down. So we'll start with my Phoenix First Dew helmet. This has been in service for roughly 4 to 5 months. Started my career using this exact same helmet with a heat sleeve over the ESS goggles. Arguably one of the more comfortable helmets on the market that I found testing different ones for your complete plastic helmets. We do have the weight issue with this one still, but it is a really comfortable fit. So this is my everyday use structural firefighting helmet. Going from that, we'll talk about my Tech Rescue helmet really fast. This is a Team Wendy. This has been in service for roughly 2 years. It does have the high-vis reflectors on the front and the back with a Team Wendy branded light up front mounted where a GoPro can go. So after the helmets, we'll go right into my structural face piece. Okay, this is my MSA G1 mask kept in a True North bag. Arguably the most comfortable mask on the market, with also arguably the best SCBAs that you can get in the service right now. These masks are extremely comfortable with a really decent heads-up display to show your air, that whole sort of thing. And after the mask and the helmets, we'll get into the turnout coat. So we use Firedex as our branded choice at my specific agency. This coat's been in service for roughly 1.5 to 2 years. Arguably kind of the most comfortable maneuverability wise. They are incorporating those new breathable turnout coats. In my agency, we're not quite there yet, but when we do, they're gonna be sweet. Apart from that, like I said, I've had this in service for about 1.5 years. What I carry in here stays in here most of the time. So in my left turnout pocket, I carry a piece of 8-foot webbing with a water knot tied on the end. This is for all my patient extraction stuff, anything like that. In the other pocket, I carry a pair of backup ProTech Fusion Pros. These are kind of my worst case scenario gloves if my other ones get too wet or I don't have time to go back to the truck to get a fresh dry pair. These have been in service for like 3 years. So like I said, kind of my worst case scenario. My everyday use stuff, I carry this Streamlight Survivor. I've had this for 2 years. It's the rechargeable variant and it lives on the chest rig of this Turnout coat. I'll never not use this light. I think if I ever go to anything else, it'll be actually the battery operated one. My actual structure gloves, I use the Firedex Dex Pros. For the dexterity I get out of these ones. They are thicker than most gloves, especially the newer ones that are on the market, but these are the ones I get the most dexterity out of, handling hose lines and stuff like that, large tools or appliances. The best for last, I suppose, I carry 3 of these gated clamps from Home Depot for $1. These are to keep doors open, things, ingress, egress, that sort of thing. So I've used these for about 3 years now. Even back when I was in the academy, that's kind of when I was introduced to these devices. And these live on my butt plate of my Turnout coat. And yeah, that's my Turnout coat. After the Turnout coat, we'll actually break down into my radio strap. I carry a fully involved Leatherworks large radio strap. This one's been in service for a little under a year. On this, I carry a 511 tack light just for my little light that I don't need a whole lot for. This stays on the radio strap itself. And then kind of the kicker of all of it, I carry a Guardian Angel. This is for all of our freeway stuff. Anything where I want more visibility than less, especially when I'm already turned out with high vis on. This is kind of the cherry of all of them. So I'll actually hook this with this alligator clip to the top of the radio strap while it's on my shoulder, so I can kind of have a different light. And this is what this one looks like, with the reversible red and then a directional. And this stays strapped to the radio strap as well. I personally had a jump scare, this is probably 2 years ago now, on the freeway about 3 a.m. with a semi-truck where he ended up taking out 7 of our cones. So after that day, I've kind of always lived with the fact that, hey man, if I'm gonna die, it's gonna be on the side of the freeway. So this just gives me kind of another level of protection. This fits our XL200 Harris radios, fits them really, really well. Yeah, that's the radio strap. Then for the Turnout boots and pants. This is kind of the kicker. This is kind of what makes the ensemble what it is. I carry a lot of different things into this, so we'll delve into this a little bit, okay? I carry 2 hoods on me at all times. This one will live in the left boot. This will be my everyday use one when we're getting geared up. Like I said, these are Firedex. In the left pocket, I carry what's called my EXO. Inside the kit itself, we have 75 feet of 9mm life safety rope. On the back end is where all of our devices are actually kept. We have a manual rappel gree attached to 2 different carabiners. These are the AMD class carabiner from Petzl. How this one operates, this carabiner, this AMD on your right will actually hook into whatever your lockout point is. So your tool, your window jamb, your ladder, anything that you can anchor yourself off to. And as you throw your rope out the window, you'll use your gree device to manually descend and belay yourself down to the ground. My tool of choice for this is actually my Pro Bar, my Halligan, whatever I have on scene, but primarily is gonna be a Halligan. And the end goal is to actually make a loop around your tool itself, preferably like in a jam, and cinch yourself down to it as you descend out the window, so it gives you some level of securement to the window or to whatever anchor point you decide to use to rappel out of. Personally, I haven't had to use this in any structure firefighting application, but the training is still there. I use this roughly every 2 months for our Rick and Rit training. It is kind of big in the pant pocket of the Turnouts, but it is a really safe use. Carried this for, I think we're going on 2 years now this October. Then onto the right, this is where we kind of get into my tools. So I carry a Craftsman brand tool bag. This kind of carries everything that I need on a daily basis with some odds and ends tucked into the pants as well. So we have our natural gas wrench, our wire cutters, and then I carry 2 baby spanner wrenches for if I can't grab the big ones off the truck or I need something immediate. These will live in my pocket. And then this little tool I got from Home Depot for $12. This is another Craftsman, but this is what's my peek and peel tool for car extrications, that sort of thing. Anything I'm trying to delve into a vehicle and find the high voltage lines, the seatbelt potentials, that sort of thing. This is what I'll use. And this will all live in my right pant pocket. And continuing on that right pant pocket, we have a couple more things that are in here. So I have one of these high-vis disposable spanner wrenches. Carried this one for a little over 2 years now. This was kind of gifted me by one of my mentors. This is kind of one of those ones that I can leave on a scene and it kind of shows up when it wants to, but if it doesn't, whatever. The last part of the ensemble that I carry a 2-inch and an 1 3/4 bar for any of our defensive fire operations. This will just help me manipulate hose lines more, especially if I'm handling a 2-inch solo. This gives me some more wiggle room for the maneuverability aspect of that. The turnouts themselves, they're pretty pricey. Name tag, right? We don't buy our own turnouts. These are all department issued. And you're looking at roughly $6,000 to $8,000 worth of gear just in the turnouts themselves, with the boot, the helmet, the mask, that sort of thing. In case you didn't know, now you know. Going to a couple odds and ends that I carry on a daily basis on the rig. So the first one is gonna be my EMS fanny pack. I get some crap for this one, but honestly, when I need it and it's there, it kind of has those things in it that are fast using. So we'll go into the main pocket first. In here, I carry a bunch of flushes, for all of my medication administration, that sort of thing. I carry a pair of blood goggles, the ones that have the side shield on them just in case. I carry ammonia inhalants for all of our pseudo seizure patients, all the ones that want to fake their seizures. Just your typical blood stop stuff. I have some abdominal pads, then just some trauma dressings. The normal start kits that we carry at my agency. And on the very front is my catheter pouch. So I carry 3 of each catheter. I carry 3 18s, 3 20s, 3 22s, and then I only carry 1 16 purely for large bore access. And then I carry an assortment of different syringes, from blunt fill needles to 3 mils, 1 mils, hypodermics, that sort of thing, with some extra tourniquets for IVs, extra start pads when we're trying to start IVs or if I'm cleaning off a lure lock, that sort of thing. Some extra Tegaderm, and then just your assorted 2x4s and 4x4s. And on the back of the fanny pack, I carry a couple rolls of tape to lock all of my IVs, all my lure locks, those sorts of things. And then I carry a roll of Coban if I don't want to use Tegaderm or if their skin is really soft. The rest of the Firefighter ensemble kind of ends with my tool of choice. I use a 3-foot Halligan, and this is kind of a topic of discussion that some people like to bring up with the shorter Halligans, or what's referred to more so as a pro bar. I carry this specifically because I'm a shorter fireman. I can still get a lot of leverage with this, even though a lot of the time I'm gonna end up muscling. But this fits really well in window jams, anything like that, anything where I need to get out of a structure. I can use that EXO that we talked about, and I can tie off to the Halligan itself for the pro bar and make my egress using that tool. But this is also just my forcible entry tool of choice. I prefer this over anything. This can marry up with another Halligan really, really well. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys watching. This was the Gear Drop Firefighter Edition.